Hey guys, insight number 3 here. So this is chapter 7, verse 27. And again, this is talking about remembering. You know, I'm a huge fan of remembering. Remembering what happened, before you came along, or what's happened in your life, and looking at it in a way where you see where Christ has entered in, where you were propped up by God, where all these things happened. And looking back at that helps us to keep focused on Christ. Now, this is Shul. This is several generations after Oriha, who we first talked about, because I said, remember, this rapidly cycles through the generations. So it says here, and then there were no more wars in the days of Shul, and he remembered the great things that the Lord had done for his fathers in bringing them across the deep in the promised land. Wherefore he did execute judgment and righteousness all his days. So he did the same thing. He remembered, and he taught the people to remember. So how does looking back keep us Christ-focused and Spirit-led? Now, the Come Follow Me manual gives you several things to look at. I've got the page here. Didn't need the whole book. They tell you to look at Oriha and Ether 6:30, Shul, which we just did, Jared and Ether 8:1-7, Emer and Coriantum and Ether 9:21-23, Heth and Ether 9:26-30, and the shares, Riplakish, Morianton, Lib, Etham, and then Jesus Christ himself, and go to Matthew for that one, and there's some references there. Elder Uchtdorf gave a great talk, The Greatest Among You, and just consider looking at that as well as an extra deep dive study. That's from April 2017 General Conference. Talks about, if you're going to be more Christ-like, he was the best king, and how did he do that? He did it sort of from reigning from the bottom. He's not anymore, but that's where his people were. That's where he goes. He doesn't go to the richest. He goes to the poorest. He doesn't go to the most famous. He goes to those that are infamous, that just don't exist to anyone else, the unseen people of this world. It's interesting. So how does looking back keep us Christ-focused and Spirit-led? Because it brings to our remembrance that if he did it then, he will do it again. If he saved us once, he will save us again. If he forgave us, he will forgive us again. If he provided, he will provide again. And that's what does. Both these actions, what's important to remember, and looking back and remembering, both these actions lead us to know of the promises God has kept and will keep with you, which is exactly what happens as being part of the house of Israel, and why we talk about Hesed and being part of the house of Israel, and that those promises that were given to those people apply to us now. They exist for us now. They are very real. They are not something from a fairy tale book. They are not something made up in an old-timey book. They are very real, and they apply to us. So think about, how does remembering and looking back keep you Christ-focused? I know I do, because I look back in those times and I think, gosh, I wouldn't have got through that if it wasn't for Christ. If he hadn't sent someone, if he hadn't come himself to comfort me, if he hadn't sent the Spirit to comfort me and to guide me, I can't imagine. And he continues to do so, because I know he did it then, and I know he will do it again. All I need to do is ask. Sometimes I don't even need to ask. He just does it anyway, and I know that it's him. So it can keep us on that right path, on that good path, if we can remember what he did, knowing he will do it again. So if he came once, he will come again. He will be there for us. Promise you. 100% promise you. And that is comforting to me, because I'm like, bring more Jesus. Like today. Bring it. I'm all for it. So yeah, looking forward to that second coming. It's not going to be a scary thing for me. It's going to be trepidatious, as in huge and big, like the whales in the water. They're going to be monstrous. But I know I'm on the right boat, and I know who my captain is, and we're good. So there you go. All right. Hang around. We're going to look at chapter 7 to 11 and sort of a synopsis type thing. I'll see you there.